It's still very early on in January 2026, and Canton Network is already making some massive moves. In this video, we're going to cover the stories that recently came out that JP Morgan, Nasdaq, and Lloyds Bank are all working with the Canton Network. So let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Let's jump into it. This post is going to come from the Canton Foundation on X. This is coming out on January 5th, 2026. It says CIP0097 is now approved, and we're happy to welcome Nasdaq as a super validator on Canton Network. With up to 10 SV weight earned through a milestone-based escrow program overseen by the Tokenomics Accountability Committee of Canton Foundation, another step in aligning Canton's governance with the institutions that run global markets with milestones independently verified and reflected transparently in network governance. I don't have to tell you how massive it is that Nasdaq is now going to be a super validator for the Canton Network's governance. This is huge. If that doesn't send a signal to the naysayers out there that Canton is here to stay, they're not just another rug pull, I don't know what else will. But just in case you still have your doubts, let's jump into the next news story, which is JP Morgan Chase. But before we do that, I want to show you the other super validators that are already working with the Canton Network, so you have an understanding who is already back in this project. So take a look on your screen here. You have 7Ridge, BitGo, Bitwave, Broadridge, Chainlink, Circle, Copper, Digital Assets. I'm going to keep on going. Take a look as I scroll. We have Ledger, roll on down. We have the Tide, TradeWeb, TRM Labs, UBYX, Zero Hash. So these are some massive names in the crypto space that are already super validators for the Canton Network. And if you want to learn more about those networks or the super validators, I do leave all of my research down in my description. On this channel, I want you to pick up this information and go and take it and go study it at a deep level, so you understand why you invest in this project that you're investing in. Because I think, as we've seen in 2025, if you've been around for that year or maybe you're new, heads up, 2025, there's been a lot of promises that these projects are going to take off to crazy astronomical prices, and that did not happen. That's why on this channel, we do not give you any kind of price predictions. I'm not here to give you any kind of hopium or pump you up to get you excited to come back to the channel. What I want to do for you is give you something to go think about as you are looking to invest your hard-earned money into these projects so you don't squander it, okay? But let's keep on reading, and let's read about this next story that comes from the block. It has to do with JP Morgan Chase working with the Canton Network. So this came out on January 7th, 2025. It states that JP Morgan brings JP Morgan Coin to Canton, its second extension after launching on Base. It says JP Morgan Connexus division is bringing JP Morgan Coin on the Canton Network, marking its second deployment on permissionless blockchain after launching on Base. It says JP Morgan's blockchain and digital payments division Connexus is launching JP Morgan Coin, ticker JPMD, on the Canton Network, a permissionless layer 1 designed for institutional finance. The move extends JP Morgan Coin to its second network after launching on the Coinbase-supported Ethereum Layer 2 base in November 2025. JP Morgan Coin is so-called deposit token issued by JP Morgan representing US dollar deposits held at the bank. It serves as a bank-backed alternative to stablecoins for institutional clients, enabling near-instant 24/7 peer-to-peer transfers and settlements. This collaboration moves the industry forward in transacting on public blockchains, global co-head of Connexus said in a statement. In bringing JP Morgan Coin onto the Canton Network, we can further increase efficiency and unlock liquidity. Canton, developed by blockchain infrastructure from digital assets, is a network supported by Goldman Sachs, BNP Paribas, Deutsche Boris, BNY Mellon, and other financial players. The network offers configurable privacy for regulatory and operational needs. All right, so do I really need to say more? We have JP Morgan Chase backing the Canton Network. They are going to start using this network, and people are still doubting what this project's going to do and how long they're going to be around. It's just another rug pull. But just in case you need further explanation or further proof that they're going to be around, let me show you what's coming from Lloyds and Archax. But before we do, for people that are kind of curious as to what CIP0097 is, so CIP is simply the Canton Improvement Proposal. 0097 is the 97th proposal. So it's the governance system. This is the 97th proposal for the governance system to bring on Nasdaq. It's that simple. So don't let that get you confused. It's not like an ERC token, etc. Right? So don't get confused behind all that. But moving into the Lloyds Bank situation. So Lloyds Bank, for you guys that don't know, they have $1.15 trillion on their balance sheet, right? So this is a major player, especially in the UK. So anybody that's out in the UK, you know what I'm talking about. This is massive though. This story does come out on January 7th, 2025. Let's go ahead and jump into it. This is going to come from Archax themselves, so check it out. It says, Lloyds and Archax complete UK's first public blockchain transaction using tokenized deposits. As we roll down, it says, Lloyds has completed the first transaction of digital assets using tokenized deposits, a landmark for digital finance. For the first time in the UK, tokenized deposits have been issued on a public blockchain. This is also a global debut for sterling deposits. This achievement illustrates how tokenization can revolutionize traditional banking, turning real-world assets into digital forms that can be purchased, sold, or transferred instantly. Unlike private ledgers, the Canton Network, a public blockchain, opens up opportunity for mass adoption across the industry due to greater accessibility while preserving confidentiality. This transaction involves Lloyds Bank plc issuing tokenized deposits on the Canton Network, a blockchain designed for regulated financial markets. Lloyds Bank Corporate Markets, part of Lloyds Banking Group, utilize these deposits to purchase a tokenized GLIT from Archax. Archax then moved the underlying funds back into regular Lloyds accounts, showing how easy transactions flow between blockchain and traditional banking systems. So again, if you want to read more about that article, because it does keep on going, it's kind of lengthy, it will be down in the description. But essentially what's going on is Archax, Lloyds, Canton Network work together to show that it is super simple to move the blockchain and traditional finance. They can work together without any issues. They are proving that they can make this happen. So of course, this does perk the ears up of the rest of the world that's watching this, because this isn't something that's isolated just to the UK and Lloyds Bank. Everybody's watching how this just turned out, and it worked great for them. And I think we're going to start seeing more adoption. And I think if you've been watching this channel for a while, you've heard me say that 2026 is going to be the year for tokenization. RWA is going to be massive in 2026. Utility tokens, in my opinion, not financial advice, will be the focus for 2026. And as we kind of wrap up this video here, I'm going to show you a video from Blockworks that has to do with the Canton Network and Caroline Pham of the CFTC that is now at MoonPay. They sat down and had an interview together. I will leave that in the description as well. But I want you to pay attention to what Caroline says here within this time frame. So if you're trying to figure out when are we going to see this big rise and when is this stuff going to really get adopted, keep in mind we have the Clarity Act coming up, which we're going to talk about after that video. So don't go anywhere. Let me go ahead and play this clip. It's less than a minute long. Don't go anywhere. It's something you want to hear, I promise you.
President's Working Group on Digital Asset Markets issued a report. Sometimes you call it the White House Crypto Report. It's really a roadmap for the administration about how we're going to tackle digital assets and provide regulatory clarity here in the United States. And that was issued at the end of July. So the SEC announced their Project Crypto, which is how they're going to make America the crypto cap of the world, enable tokenization, enable digital assets in their markets. And I launched the CFTC's Crypto Sprint. So the CFTC's Crypto Sprint is a 12-month initiative. We will be all done implementing the CFTC's recommendations from the President's Working Group report by August of next year. It's fast.
Okay, so the CFTC is looking to have all that submitted and done by August of next year, she states. But keep in mind, this was recorded in December of 2025 when this interview took place. It actually launched January 7th, 2025. So that's that overlap that might get confusing. But they are looking to have it done by August 2026. So as we move through, of course, springtime through March, I think you're going to see the Clarity Act be hopefully signed and approved. But keep in mind, anything can happen. And by the time we roll into the fall, moving through August, moving into 2027, we're going to have all the groundwork done for crypto, or in theory, we should have all that done. So could we see this really take off in spring? I think we're going to see a spike. We're going to see some volatility and excitement. But I'm really looking at the end of 2026, November, to really see that payoff come out. And I'm not talking about the payout that everybody's been talking about, $1,000 XRP, etc. I'm just talking about when we start seeing money start flooding into the market on chain in a big way, okay? Because we have to have regulatory clarity for this to happen, because I guarantee the institutions aren't going to move in until they feel safe to do so. And let me show you something that came from Eleanor Tourette. She was talking about Tim Scott's announcement with the Senate Banking Committee and with the markup bill. So this comes out, it says, "Good afternoon. In an interview with Breitbart News, Senator Tim Scott, chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, announced that the committee will be holding a market structure markup on Thursday, 1/15/2026. And the quote says, "I think it's important for us to get on the record and vote. So next Thursday, we'll have a vote on the market structure. We have worked tirelessly for the last 6+ months, making sure that we had a multiple drafts available to every member of the committee." Okay, so a word of caution there. I know if you're new here, that's going to excite you and you're going to think that it's going to take off and we're going to see a big spike right away if that Clarity Act moves forward on January 15th, 2026. But understand, we are talking about our US government and we're talking about our Congress, our Senate. I'll be nice here. I have very low confidence in them moving this forward on the 15th, just because of how much pushback we're getting from some of the people that sit on this committee. I won't use any names, but if it gets pushed back, don't be surprised by that. We just need to be excited that they're still talking about it and they're still trying to push it forward. This is something you need to keep your eyes on and keep your ear to the ground on, because this is one of the final pieces we're missing. The Clarity Act is one of the final pieces we're missing before the financial institutions really start to flood in. So keep in mind, it is Congress, it is Senate, it is our government. They move incredibly slow. So don't get too excited about that. But that is something to throw on your calendar, throw on your radar, okay? So that is it for this video. So if you did enjoy this video, I highly would appreciate you guys hitting that like button. That really pushes this video out. I know you know that, but if you watch several of my videos and you're not hitting that like button, please do not leave it up to other people that you think may hit it. It is massive. It helps push these videos out, which again gets me motivated to put more out here for you guys. That's all I have for you though. Before I let you go, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and become that change you want to see. I'll see you on the next one.